Let theta be any angle in standard position. XY is the point on the terminal side of theta other than the origin, and R will be the radius, which is the distance from P to the origin. The trig ratios will be the same, only the sign will vary depending on the quadrant. Sine theta is therefore y over r, opposite over hypotenuse, and cosecant theta r over y. Cosine theta is x, adjacent over hypotenuse, x over r, and secant is r over x, the reciprocal. Tangent is opposite y over adjacent x, and cotangent is x over y, the reciprocal. For example, -4,3 is a point in the second quadrant. The radius is 5, and this is a list of the different ratios. Point -3, -2 is a third quadrant point. -3 represent x and -2 represent y. We quickly can calculate the radius using Pythagorean theorem, and the radius is square root of 13. Now, the height is -2, the base is -3, and the hypotenuse is square root of 13. Sine is opposite over the hypotenuse, so it's going to be -2 over square root of 13. When we rationalize, -2 square root of 13 over 13. We can just take the reciprocal to calculate the cosecant of theta. -square root of 13 over 2. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, -3 over square root of 13. When we rationalize, we'll have -3 square root of 13 over 13. Take the reciprocal, we'll get secant theta, -square root of 13 over 3. Tangent will be sine over cosine, so it's -2 over -3, which is positive 2/3. Cotangent will be the reciprocal, and the reciprocal will be 3 over 2. For point -512, we need to find all the trigonometric ratio of theta, and we know that theta is located between 0 and 360. So -5 is x and 12 is y. We are going to calculate the hypotenuse, which is the radius, and the hypotenuse is 13. So now the sine of theta will be the opposite over the hypotenuse, so it's 12 over 13. Cosecant theta is the reciprocal of sine, so it's 13 over 12. Cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, -5 over 13. Secant theta is the reciprocal, so it's -13 over 5. Tangent theta is opposite over adjacent, 12 over -5, -12 over 5. And cotangent theta is the reciprocal, so it's -5 over 12. A quadrantal angle is an angle in standard position where the terminal side lie on the x or the y axis. Such angles are 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. In the unit circle, sine of 0 is equal to 0. Cosecant of 0, which is 1 over sine of 0, is undefined. Cosecant 0 is equal to 1, and secant 0, 1 over cosine, is also equal to 1. Tangent of 0 is equal to sine over cosine, which is 0 over 1, which is 0. And cotangent of 0, which is 1 over tangent of 0, is undefined. Sine 90 is equal to 1, and 1 over sine 90, cosecant 90, is also equal to 1. Cosine 90 is equal to 0. 1 over cosine 90, 1 over 0 is undefined. Tangent 90 is undefined, it's 1 over 0. And cotangent 90 is 0 over 1, which is 0. Sine 180 is equal to 0. Cosecant 180 is 1 over 0, undefined. Cosine 180 is equal to negative 1. Secant of 180, 1 over cosine 180, is also negative 1. Tangent 180, 0 over negative 1 is 0. Cotangent 180, negative 1 over 0, undefined. Sine of 270 is negative 1. Cosecant of 270, 1 over sine, negative 1. Cosine of 270, 0. Secant of 270 is undefined, 1 over 0. Tangent of 270 is negative 1 over 0, undefined. Cotangent of 270, 0 over negative 1, 0.